What's up, guys? Nate Petrosky from Narrowway Homestead coming at you with a garage update, and this thing is really coming along. I've had the vision of this in my mind for quite some time. I've just not been able to communicate it real well with words to you guys, but now I've got a whole visual because there's literally a building sitting there that I can go over with you guys. Let's get into it. My solar array is huge, but it is absolutely dwarfed by this building. I'm going to go over the first floor of this. This is where my camper used to sit, right here. It's no longer a camper. That was about a year ago. And the front of it is actually the end of the building, if you will. Got a big 20-foot door in the front of it. And it's basically a two-car garage. Looking at it from the front, obviously there's a second floor. And over here behind it is going to be kind of like a shop, and there's another door that goes into it there. I've got some windows, I've got some man doors going in here, but this will be where I pull in an ATV and just different implements, or even a pickup truck with a full load of firewood on it that I didn't get stacked yet that I need to get out of the weather. Realistically, there's going to be a bunch of junk in here. That's just how it goes. It's 10 foot, 4.5 inches high off of the concrete. There'll be all kinds of storage I can do. I don't even totally know how I'm storing stuff, what systems I'm using. Most likely I'm just going to take lumber and build a lot of my shelves because you can make it custom how you want, and it's usually cheaper that way as well. Underneath of these steps, they're 4 foot wide. This is going to be where all the solar and stuff goes. Well, okay, not the solar, but all the equipment for the solar out here. I've got all that stuff just kind of in a little plastic building right here underneath the panels. All that will get relocated, put here, and there will be solar panels on the roof, which I'll go over after a bit. But let's go up here.
Eli, that is a 5-inch lag.
Got the ridge pole going up. That is going to be cool. Actually, I'm going to show you guys all of it because right over here on top of the outdoor kitchen, let's fast forward the progress and cut to this time-lapse footage. Yes, I did really run up onto the outdoor kitchen roof and make sure the camera was positioned as perfectly as possible so you guys could see all this stuff in real time. It only takes you a couple seconds, but I had to remember to go up there and get the camera down at the end of the day. But it was all fun and worth it, and I enjoyed watching it too. Oh, that looks so cool. It's a roof. Jump ahead another day and the purlins are on. Now you get an idea about the overhangs, at least on the ends. 3 foot overhangs. It's gonna be awesome. The plan is tomorrow to have most of the metal up here just because of the availability of the guys to do it. It's one of those things you want to have a few guys available to make it happen. The end sheets will probably be left off because there is no, what do I want to say, rafter out there. No rafter out there yet, so, but they can start in. I've actually got the pieces I'm going to show you guys. But look at this huge room, guys. This is so cool. This side is pretty much going to be nothing. If I do any wood stove, anything, any penetrations out the roof at all, which if I do a wood stove, I'll probably do it down on the first floor somewhere and run a chimney up here and let the hot air just rise up here. Be my thoughts. Windows are framed in. 2 little windows. Now this solar array is going to go off of a lean-to. That lean-to will come probably lower than this off of here and just be off the back. The whole purpose of that lean-to is just going to simply be to catch the morning sun as it rises with solar on top. The way this is facing now is currently directly south, and this would be more of a southeast angle. So that's really just for morning. And then I have a southwest angle along this gigantic roof. And most of the time when I have power, coming in, it's during the afternoon because the morning there's clouds and stuff, and eventually it usually burns off and opens up the afternoon sun, and this angle will be much better. Plus it's just huge, guys. It's huge. Everything's looking pretty sweet as far as being straight. I'll have a much better ability to capture my solar. A lot of people just go by the straight south. A lot of people go by face east and then face west. And I'm just kind of doing a hybrid of southeast and southwest, and I think it'll work just fine for my purposes. It's not as steep as those are on this side. And that's going to mean in the wintertime it's a little bit less. So I'm just going to simply be banking on a lot more panels. And the fact that, actually, I guess there is no other fact. I'm just banking on the fact that I have more panels. Okay, cool. Anyway, out the front, 2 big windows. Those are framed in. I'll release the long form video on this really cool cut. I was hanging out with the guys. We were having fun. They wanted to do it a certain way, and I said, I see no reason to not do it that way, so go for it. And they did a sweet job. The main question I'm getting about this garage is there a second floor? Yes. What are you doing with it? It's split between what are you doing with it, and is that going to be your house? I don't totally know what I'm doing with it, and no, it's not going to be my house. I don't want to do the second floor living thing. Right now, I'm very, very comfortable in that building. And my house it's going to be right there. So that's where I want my house to actually be. And it'll be first floor living because, you know, I'm planning to get old. If I don't get old, well, then I just had a short life and I guess whatever. But what am I going to do up here? I'll figure it out. I've actually got an idea. I'm not going to talk about it just yet, but I got an idea. Okay, I'm going to talk about it. I got an idea for a podcast studio up here. I don't know where, how. I also, I've got these knee walls with the big openings. I have an idea for if I do have a party over here and overnight guests, I can put mattresses kind of in there, just little cots or whatever. Put some doors on here for people to have privacy if there's multiple people, and they can just chill out and just be kind of like a guest quarters. And it's not going to be super comfortable, but that's the whole point of guest quarters. Don't be too comfortable, so, you know, I don't want you to forget to go back home, because I live in the woods. For a reason, I like living in the woods. I like being by myself. But, you know, I also like to hang out with people. But yeah, that was kind of my idea. If that never works out, that's great storage. Great storage in those. It's just going to be a really sweet big room up here. I might get into projects up here. I might pack and ship some products from here too. A lot of that, depending what my products are, most of my products are small and lightweight, so I don't really have to worry about forklift access or lots of boxes. If I do start worrying about that, then some of that would end up being on the first floor of this garage. It's big enough, so it's just a big universal use building. And I know I'll find a way to use this upstairs area without too much trouble. I really don't want to store a lot of junk up here. Got a big enough garage. I've cleaned out enough of my own garage and storage spaces to know that I just can't have too much stuff. And I have been selling stuff for ridiculously cheap, giving stuff away. A lot of items I have, they're just going. I just don't need them. I've acquired things through trades and all kinds of other stuff. They're just going. I'm not filling this up with all of my like stuff that I never use or see. That's stupid. It's almost a tiny house mindset, but it's not. There's nothing tiny about any of this. But I don't like too much junk. Everything's pretty straight and awesome up here. The walls are straight, the rafters are straight, everything within reason. Things are level and plumb and square. A couple things that annoy me. Most of the things that annoy me have nothing to do with the guys building this stuff. That annoys me. That annoyed them too, though. But they had just enough of them, so they had to use that one somewhere. It's in the middle of a roof. The other framing around it will all support it. It's going to be a little bit of a weak spot, but it's not at all going to be too weak for a roof at all. It's going to be just fine. The other thing, it doesn't really annoy me because I know how to fix it because I used to be a renovation contractor. Whenever I did steps, I've almost always had the flooring be over top of the top one, and for whatever reason, I forget, I think he told me, but he likes to do the tread all the way to the top. Whatever, that doesn't matter. The only thing that was a little weird is leaving a gap. They left a gap there so that drywall or a board or something can can fill in along the steps if I actually want to finish them out someday. But obviously the top one didn't need that. It's also very easy to close up with some minor framing and it won't be an issue. So, but really, if that's the worst thing I have to complain about, there's nothing to complain about. Like, this is awesome. This is so cool. Anyway, that's how it's going. You guys got any specific questions about the garage? Hopefully you guys have gotten a decent visual idea of how it's all going to be now. This is the point where most people can start visualizing how things are happening. Something that might be becoming an issue is my Starlink is kind of pointing at my garage. And my garage is way higher, but plan for that is to come up onto the garage roof. I'll probably just bring it up here. All this equipment, everything associated with this will end up in the garage and this will be eliminated. So, gotta wait for the garage to be finished first. But yeah, guys, what do you think? I think this is a dream garage. It's the only building I have here that's anything that I would call a dream building at the moment. Everything else is just kind of functional. Stuff like the outdoor kitchen's gonna look real ugly after a bit. Oh, I don't know. That outhouse is pretty much a dream outhouse. That building is sweet. I don't care who you are, it's sweet. And I know I can make the outdoor kitchen. There's certain things I can do to dress that thing up and make it look amazing. But I'm just gonna let that go until the only thing I have to do is worry about what stuff looks like. And the metal, it's getting dark. Pretty much gonna wrap this video up, get into the next one. Tomorrow, putting the metal on. I don't even know if I can show the roof metal real good. I don't want to slide it on. There we go, you can kind of see it's a black, but it's I think they call it a frosted black. So it's pretty cool looking. Not gonna be able to see a whole lot of the roof. A couple other things I'm currently debating and thinking about are a roof that comes out over, I'm gonna zoom in so far. A roof that comes out, just a little 2 or 3 foot roof that comes out over the door. It would give it a really cool look on the front. Below the windows, a roof there. And maybe I could do some kind of cool woodworking or beam stuff up in there. I don't know. There's cool stuff that can be done. And then if I do that, maybe I should do a little roof over top of this garage door, because that would kind of look cool. Not really necessary, honestly. It would be like almost 100% for looks, because it's got a big overhang above it. This one has a big overhang above it too, but it's just so far above it that even if the rain comes down at a slight angle, it'll totally hit this wall. So, shouldn't be a big deal. Water runs down the garage door. Won't go into the garage because we've got this cool lip in the way. It's gonna be pretty sweet. Gonna be really sweet. I've been waiting a long time to build permanent structures, really awesome looking structures here. Now the first one is almost done. One of 2. The house will be the next major big structure. But I don't know if you guys, how long you guys have been following or what, but a year ago, what is it? It's approaching the end of October. I was living in a camper right where these steps are in November. I moved at the end of November last year. I was working on the living quarters in that pole building down there. And so a year ago, there was literally a camper sitting here, and that's what I was living in. Roof was leaking, it was falling apart. I knew it was time to be out of there. And yeah, lots of progress in the last year. Tons of progress. And I couldn't be happier. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next garage build episode.
With the beard and the vision, he narrates his life. Cutting firewood, draining beasts away from city strife. The ducks they roam freely, a quiet army true. Muscovies in the meadow, foraging